Hello everyone, we are students from Pei Hwa Secondary School. I am Chang Yao.
I am Hira.
I am Sherry May.
I'm Cedric. Today we'll be discussing the existing urban solutions adopted by Singapore.
Specifically, the HDB flats that we currently have.
Let's go!
Okay, the urban heat island effect. To better understand this phenomenon, we need to take a look at the following graph. This is the graph of the UHI intensity in temperature in Singapore, and this is a map of the built-up area in the same country. Notice that the hotter area always seems to be located at residential and industrial areas. That's because concrete and asphalt trap more heat than plants themselves. Exacerbated by global warming and limited space, more Singaporeans are forced to turn on the air conditioner often and live in closed spaces. This leads to an accumulation of warm air that increases temperature in urban areas. This is why we experience warmer nights year by year and less cooler mornings. This poses a need for a more sustainable solution to cool down our estates. How can Singapore design measures that cool us down naturally? And more importantly, how can we save as much electricity possible in residential areas? This is Tengah, Singapore's most ambitious plan to create the most environmentally friendly town. In order to solve several problems, HDB has to get creative. Let's start from the housing buildings themselves. To cool down nearby neighborhoods, apartments and nearby recreational facilities are decorated with thousands of plants and greenery to provide shading and lower the temperature. Apartments are fitted with a centralized cooling system that eliminates the use of a condenser. This leads to lesser noise, more cost savings, and more energy efficiency. Buildings are angled to ensure less heat is trapped and good wind flow for proper ventilation. Ultimately, if all goes to plan, Tengah will be Singapore's first ever car-free town, sprawling over 700 hectares, the size of Bishan.
The urban heat island effect. Singapore has taken many measures to overcome it. As harmful as it is, there have been measures that have been successful. Now, let's dive deeper into the strengths of these measures. Take Sky Gardens for example. Sky Gardens helps to reduce the temperature and heat emissions as plants will give out water vapor during a constant process which is also known as transpiration. Singapore has also invested in the use of solar panels to produce electricity with the energy from the sun. This reduces the amount of electricity produced when fossil fuels are being burnt. This would then result in lower emissions of greenhouse gases, slowing down global warming. Having said that, the constructions of these buildings can lead to a growth in the economy. This is because places like Sky Gardens and solar panels requires regular maintenance. This calls for more jobs open to the public. With more people working, there will be a higher rate of consumer spending, which can benefit the various businesses. On top of that, Singapore is rather responsible in its consumption and production. As said above, Sky Gardens which have been built in Singapore can include community vertical farms to suit the agricultural needs of nearby restaurants or food centres. Staff of these establishments would then be able to utilise these farms to grow their ingredients and even share their food use with other staff or different establishments. To top it off, these measures taken by Singapore can lead to sustainable cities and communities. The construction of new communities like Tengah aims to be more sustainable by constructing facilities that are eco-friendly. HDB blocks also builds facilities at the top to save space as well as to solve the issue of HDBs emitting too much heat.
Now onto the weaknesses that this solution poses. First of all, it would have detrimental effects on life on land. Forests will need to be cut down to make way for the construction of high-rise buildings for housing. For instance, the Dover Forest controversy concerning the construction of Tengah. Environmentalists are concerned about the destruction of natural habitats and greenery as they would want to ensure its environmental sustainability. Secondly, it would also lead to the destruction of heritage sites and farmland traditions. Heritage sites like Neo Teo Village, cemeteries, and Lim Chu Kang Road will have to be either relocated or destroyed to make space for the development of residential buildings and other infrastructures. Lastly, there's an increased amount of sound pollution that comes with the addition of highways. With more residential areas being built, comes with more road network. There will be more vehicles moving around the forested areas and thus disrupt nearby wildlife habitats. The plan to ensure its sustainable development may also backfire, as the influx of vehicles can increase carbon emissions in the Tengah estate.
Even with the struggles brought about by the pursuit of sustainability, Singapore has tried its best to reach this goal. With the installation of new cooling systems, up to 30% of energy is saved. Road networks are also relocated underground, minimizing the impacts of sound pollution and environmental destruction. Moreover, similar environmental impacts are also remedied through the fitting of lush greenery around estates. Despite recent controversies surrounding Singapore's most ambitious sustainable green town project, Tengah is no doubt a revolutionary idea that is bound to pave the way for future sustainable living spaces. We hope that not just Singapore is being further developed, but many other countries can adopt similar methods too to satisfy the Earth's growing need for sustainability. Communities and governments alike should band together to help each other chase this goal of a sustainable future, allowing later generations to prosper and develop efficiently. Together, everyone in this global community has a stake in chasing this dream, leading the world into a brighter, better, more sustainable future.